I'd like you to create a stop motion animation, and for practice we're going to use this project for one of the pioneers of motion pictures, this guy named Eadweard Muybridge, and he took photography of different things in motion like people and animals and other types of things, and he basically accidentally invented the motion picture industry. And so here's a little bit of information that you can use for your project, and all this will be found inside the stop motion folder, and there's another folder called horse, and we have all the things that you need, a little sound clip of a horse galloping and some of his photographies of a horse in different stages of motion. Here is Eadweard's Wikipedia page, and you can go check this out and see some of the other photos that he took. Before he did motion, he did things like landscape photography, and he was quite a famous photographer at the time. And then the U.S. government decided to hire him to do motion studies. So you can check out his page, find out a little more information about him. So let's get into it here. And I want you to use this program called Premiere Pro. So you can just go to the Start menu and type in Premiere to open it up. Use the CS6, that's the most modern version, that would be good. So then once you get here, go ahead and click on New Project, and I want you to save it in your student drive, and we're going to go ahead and give this the naming convention, and you can call it Eadweard Muybridge. Once you get to this screen right here, the new sequence, do not choose any of these. At this point, just click Cancel. We're going to make a sequence just a little bit different way. And then I want you to use this workspace, just so your screen looks like my screen. Use the editing CS55. I'm going to reset my workspace, but use this one here. And then you can right here in this panel, right here in your project panel, you can double click and you can go ahead and bring all this in. Hit Control A for select all. Select all this and bring it in. And then once you have all the images in your sound clip, just take your first image here and drag this right to this. It looks like a layer. It's actually a new item, but you drag it and release it right on top of there, and it starts your sequence. And what this does is it takes all the properties of this photo, whatever the pixel dimension is, whatever size it is, and it starts your sequence the exact same size. And this is a low resolution image, but that's no big deal. So once I have the first image on here and it has built our sequence, then I can go to the next horse image, click this one, go to the bottom horse image, hold shift and it will select all of these, and then you drag it down next to the number 1 picture. So hopefully you have all the horse pictures in here, and you can hit play by hitting the space bar. But the only problem is it is very slow. Each one of these pictures is 5 seconds long. So let's fix that. I'll hit the space bar to stop it. You're going to select all these horse images, right click, go to speed and duration. Make sure you check this. Check ripple edit. And right now it's set for 5 seconds. This is hours, minutes, seconds, and then frames. So we'll click on this, we'll make it no seconds, and let's change this to 3 frames. Now when you make your original stop motion animation, your rate may be different than just 3 frames per picture. I'll hit OK. And now it's put all of them like that. So if you want to see them, you can take this little bar here and you can size it so that you can see all of your horse pictures. So I'm just going to select the horse pictures and move them over a little bit. So let's bring in the sound clip. Take the sound clip and put that on your audio track here. And then something else you could do, which is nice, is you can select all your horse images. I'm going to hold Alt and it will just make a copy of those. So once I make a copy of those, I can move them over so they match up with the end, just to make the sequence a little longer. I'll hold Alt, click and drag and do the same thing again. Now the only problem is our sound wave is a little bit too long, so what we'll try to do, see if we can get away with this, is we'll take our speed and duration and let's just speed it up a little bit. So I'm going to change our speed and duration to 92% of what it was before, and let's see, whoops, that made it too fast. I'm going to undo that. Go the other direction. See if I can do it a little bit more. And they'll probably be okay like that. Now I'm going to put this here and hit play. And the sound doesn't match up, but you can work with that to make that match up. I'm going to scoot these over a little bit. And I'm going to go right here to make a new item. I'm going to make a title. And what I want to call this is Eadweard Muybridge. And I'm going to put some text box in here. I'll center it. And we can give it a effect. I'll move it into place. And there's not an OK button or anything, but if you just go to the top right hand corner you can press X and it makes your title sequence. So I'm going to take the title sequence and I'm going to put it on this video 2 layer. And I can slide this thing over like that. Now what I'll do is I'm going to go to my Effects tab here and I'm going to go to my Video Transitions, Dissolve, and I'm going to use Cross Dissolve. And I can just take Cross Dissolve and drag it. Usually I can. I'm going to drag it to the end here. At this point it's not letting me. Not worried about that. Let's put a ending sequence here. Let's make another title sequence. And we'll call this Info. So let's put a little information about Eadweard. And you can go to your Word document, select this, copy it, I'll close this out temporarily. Let's go to a place where we don't see anything. I'll put a text box. Now let's put some information in here. Maybe center it. Looks good. Then I'm going to take this new title sequence that I have. I'll put it on the end here. This will be a good time to hit save. Now I'm going to see if I can do the cross dissolve effect. And now, for some reason, it's working. So once you have that, you can take this file, you can go to the Adobe encoder, and you can put your Premiere file in here, and then you can tell it to output to whatever device you want. iPad, iPhone, Android phone, Apple TV. And once you do that, you hit play, and it makes it a MP4 or whatever type of video file you tell it to choose. So now that was your guided practice for the Eadweard Muybridge stop motion. I want you to complete this, and then you can come up with your own stop motion.